LooksMaxxing is anything that you do to improve your physical appearance, or quite literally, maximize your looks. The term LooksMaxxing can be traced all the way back to the year 2015. The phrase is mainly used within incel and manosphere communities, although it appears that in the early 2020s, the term exploded on TikTok and has grown increasingly popular ever since. One cannot dive into the specific dangers of LooksMaxxing without first giving context on the community in which this phrase sprouted from. Introducing the black pill. Guys who've taken the black pill are convinced that as a man, your life is over before it even starts. That is, unless you're a 6'5", blonde-haired, blue-eyed, supermodel-looking white guy with perfect eyelids and a positive canthal tilt, whatever that means.
This, negative canthal tilt that. You get negative bitches. Shut up, bitch!
To someone who's not familiar with the black pill, it may sound a little bit alarming to hear young men echoing the same ideologies as Adolf Hitler, but unfortunately, I'm just scratching the surface. Within these black pill communities, you'll frequently see men rating the looks of other men on a scale of 1 to 10, analyzing the faces of other men, encouragement of self-harm or self-deletion, and even encouraging mass violence on marginalized groups and other innocent people. Earlier, you heard me use the word incel, which is essentially a shortened term for involuntary celibate. It's what you call the guy who hates women because he can't get laid. After snooping around various black pill YouTube channels, I came across frequent rants, rambling, and monotonous yap sessions about how they envy ugly guys that end up in happy, worthwhile, and meaningful relationships. A major issue with the incel ideology is that they don't seem to grasp the fact that not everyone is as shallow as they are. The truth is that looks aren't everything. They're only good for initial attraction. It's actually going to take an intriguing personality to show the girl of your dreams that a relationship with you is a relationship that's worth having. Introducing Elliot Rodger, the perpetrator of the 2014 Isla Vista massacre. Prior to his attack, he dropped a lengthy manifesto where he'd go in detail about his life and grievances against society.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. You will all be animals. You are animals, and I will slaughter you like animals. I hate all of you sexually active men. I hate you. I hate all of you. If I had it in my power, I would stop at nothing to reduce every single one of you to mountains of skulls and rivers of blood.
Rodger also posted videos about his lack of success with women and how he wanted revenge on the popular kids for rejecting him.
I'm going to show you all a short little tour of this college town called Isla Vista. Every time I drive through this place, I am overcome with rage because I see so many guys walking around with beautiful blonde girls enjoying their lives while I've lived here for more than 2 years in loneliness. No one's ever invited me to parties. No girls have been attracted to me. I've never had the pleasure of walking through this town with a beautiful girl on my arm. I've had to watch other boys experience the life that I deserve.
Instead of condemning his insanity and violent actions, incels saw him as a martyr. They actually sympathized with him. His thoughts and actions resonated with incels around the world. In fact, Rodger's actions even inspired more attacks across the globe. Essentially, the way I see it, Elliot Rodger is the king of the incels. Part of the reason I bring up the king of the incels is to point out how you don't have to be stereotypically unattractive to be an extremist level incel. You just need to be so disconnected from reality that you fall under the delusion that the world owes you something. So what, you're not a 10 out of 10. Now you can confirm that your partner likes you for your soul and not just the flesh suit that you were born into. So now that we know where LooksMaxxing originates from, let's talk about some pros and cons. There's nothing wrong with YouTubers teaching guys things like self-care and proper hygiene. There's actually a little bit of positivity that can come from the black pill community, but only when you dabble on the surface level. This is where you'll get tips about different methods of skincare, how to get a leaner face by lifting weights, and keeping your body fat percentage below 15%. In reality, it's just dudes being dudes and giving other dudes tips on how to maximize their looks. It's no secret that improving your looks will also improve your self-esteem, which is a key aspect in your self-improvement journey. The issue is when these young men fall down the rabbit hole. When Woman Hater 69 is blabbing on Reddit about how he sculpts his face with a literal hammer, there's a problem.
Bone smashing is a disturbing trend among young people to try to reshape their bone using small trauma or fracture. It's impossible for this thing to work because you can't get symmetry or control the fracture when you're doing it this way. I strongly discourage you from trying this.
And when guys are literally getting bone lengthening surgery just for an extra 11 centimeters of height, there is clearly a problem.
Height inflation is getting out of hand, and this dude is a perfect example. This man spent over $100,000 to go from 6 feet, which is already pretty tall, to 6'7".
Just a few weeks ago, I was sitting in a classroom with some other guys, and one of the dudes was insulting himself, talking about how he's so short it needs to get bone lengthening surgery. On one hand, I know he was joking, but on the other hand, I know that there's a little bit of truth behind every joke. I could have told him how the surgery is exceedingly excruciating and has a long recovery process. But since he was joking, I wanted to keep the conversation lighthearted, of course. I just said, "Hey man, F that. You're good just the way you are." And I could tell that that meant a lot to him. Society treats beauty standards like height, shape, and even skin tone as trends. Imagine getting irreversible surgery to fit the current status quo when in a few years, you're going to be considered even uglier than before. Going down the rabbit hole will simply give you new insecurities. Think about it. At first, you tuned into a black pill YouTuber or TikTok page because you wanted to upgrade your skincare routine. But now you're 7 videos in and you hate the fact that you have unequal facial thirds. You weren't aware at the time, but you've mistakenly taken the first step toward being this weird, antisocial, nihilistic, anime antagonist, Sigma grindset, incel type of guy. Another negative aspect of LooksMaxxing is the fact that it's essentially all a lie. Your looks are based off your inherited genetics and the environment you grew up in. Black pillars are selling you a dream. They want you to think that if you become a Giga-Chad, your quality of life will increase drastically. While yes, it is true that if people find you attractive, they're more likely to treat you better, which is no surprise. I mean, they're literally getting a hit of dopamine just from looking at you. It's in our best interest for you and I to acknowledge the fact that in this case, black pillars are sprinkling in a little bit of truth in order to capitalize on society's way of grooming us into believing that looks are everything, when in reality, they're just the cherry on top. This is even a common trope that we see in media. Think of how Squidward wasn't treated better until after he became handsome. Even though prior to becoming handsome, he spent the whole show trying different approaches to life also that he could be treated with some respect. When shallow tropes like these are constantly shoved in the faces of young and impressionable men, it becomes harder for us to see through these stereotypes. So now that we've tackled a few of the 5 W's, it's time for us to ask ourselves, how? How does a toxic community like the black pill become mainstream? The black pill is like that weird rash that won't go away. And the only reason that the black pill is able to stay relevant is because the truth is, they're not 100% wrong. The sad reality is that if you're short, then yeah, people are going to make fun of you for it and try to treat you like a runt. If you lack confidence in the ability to stick up for yourself, then yeah, people are going to test your patience, bully you, and try to make you feel inferior. And if you're a person of color who's growing up in a predominantly white area, then yes, you're going to feel the wrath of far-right propaganda, white supremacist ideologies, racist jokes, and dark humor. This might even make you hate the fact that you're a person of color and even result in you echoing this same hatred onto your own race.
White man science is amazing, ain't it? Oh no, this can't be. I'm 102% African.
The black pill validates your feelings of inferiority and gives you a shoulder to cry on. If you are black pilled, what I really need you to understand is that while yes, it's true that women tend to be more attracted to tall, handsome, and muscular guys, but that doesn't mean that if you don't check all those boxes, that you're destined to die alone. Personality and the content of your character is key. You can be 6'5" all you want. Good luck trying to get into a meaningful relationship when you have the personality of a doorknob. For the majority of you guys, being short and unattractive is quite literally the least of your worries. It's the fact that you've made your entire personality revolve around your strange hatred of women. When your whole personality is based around distasteful ideologies, nihilism, revenge, and other antisocial behaviors, you essentially come off as having no redeemable qualities. Let's stop overdosing on the copium. So after hearing me talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in regards to LooksMaxxing, you're probably looking for an actual solution to your problems, because at this point you've realized that the black pill isn't actually helping you. Because as we know, the black pill just validates your feelings towards the problems you face. It doesn't actually teach you how to solve them. But before I give you the long answer, I need to go over a few things. I first have to ask you, what is beauty? A simple Google search will tell you that the definition of beauty is a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that is aesthetically pleasing to look at. Now, this is obviously the literal definition of beauty, although I feel like this definition doesn't do the word justice. Beauty is something that provides us with pleasure. It stimulates us, it captivates, and entices us. But as the LooksMaxxer, you already understand that just physical beauty is not enough to get what you want in life, whether that be the job of your dreams or even the lifestyle you desire. You're also aware that external attraction isn't enough to attract who you want, whether that be a romantic partner, your ideal friend, or even people who treat you with respect. The true captivation of other individuals is made possible by your internal, aka your soul, your principles, your values. If you want to be attractive, you first got to work on building your own character. The reason you stumble upon online communities like the Black Pill is because you're on a quest to find yourself. But the problem is that you're feeling entitled to the partner of your dreams without putting in the work necessary. And to be clear, putting in the work isn't just lifting weights and drop shipping. Putting in the work is getting to know yourself. How do you expect to have a meaningful relationship with another person when you haven't even taken the time to have a meaningful and worthwhile relationship with yourself? I understand that other people may have broken you, whether that be bullies, strangers, or even your own flesh and blood. But when someone else comes around and messes up your puzzle, it's up to you to put the pieces back together. As cliche as it may sound, true beauty comes from within. To help you start on your path towards real beauty, introspection, and self-love, here are some introspective questions for you to ask yourself. When you engage in shadow work, you uncover a lot of details about yourself that may be hidden in your subconscious. Upon research for this video, there was actually another YouTuber that I came across who pointed out the fact that there's guys who want to be muscular, but when they're not the most muscular in the room, they get insecure. You don't have to be the best at everything. There's always going to be a bigger fish. You just have to be comfortable with being your best, but not the best. Moral of the story, there's nothing wrong with putting effort into your physical appearance. How you do anything is how you do everything. But never forget that it's what's on the inside that counts. Thank you for tuning into my new video. Right here is going to be a video that YouTube wants you to watch. And right here is going to be a video that I want you to watch. And then right here is going to be my most recent video. So make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.